What's new, what's next? Turns out it wasn't an April Fool's joke after all. Because of your support, we have some great returning cast members and some new ones lined up for y'all, as well as a lot of new exciting product updates. So before jumping in, I want to talk about the theme for today's show, which is connected. And if you ask people what connected means, they'll probably say something about joining different elements together or linking to different things in one place. And I want to extend how that kind of translates into our building philosophy here at Carta. So as our CEO, Henry, has shared, we're building the first ERP for private capital. We've built best-in-class suite of software and services covering cap table management, portfolio analytics, valuations, tax, and more. And now we're doing the hard work of joining all of these different elements together. And so our data talks to each other, data flows, and processes converge. And the reason we're doing this is to save our customers time, minimize errors, and put their data back in their own hands. And we're building connections in multiple ways, whether it's with market-leading financial institutions, powerful analytics engines, or financial statements. Last time, Olivia walked us through the ramp integration, and today we're going to talk about connections to other market-leading platforms. So let's kick things off. Joining me again is Natanya. One of our PMs will be breaking down our tactic integration with Fund Admin and how it's breaking down so many silos that CFOs face in their day-to-day operations. And as always, as we get started, feel free, always drop questions in the chat. No pun intended, but it makes us feel more connected. So please engage, and we'll keep tabs on this computer surface as things comes up. So feel free to interrupt at any time. All right, you ready, round two?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so we know that this exciting integration fuels forecasting and planning tactic using Carta general ledger data. And we're connecting two critical nodes within our ecosystem.
Yeah.
What else do we need to know?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way of putting it, Cesar. So as a quick refresher, Carta acquired Tactic for its industry-leading portfolio construction and forecasting and portfolio monitoring capabilities. Now, Tactic and Carta combined are able to offer long-neglected fund CFOs a modern FP&A tooling that has historically been managed in spreadsheets. Now, as many of you know, there's critical inputs into your construction model. There's your investment details across your entire portfolio, and then there's also your accounting data across your overall fund. Ever since the acquisition, we've really set out to seamlessly pull all of that data from Carta into Tactic. That includes partner level details like your commitments, your contributions, your distributions, as well as expenses and management fees. This really enables you to more quickly and accurately forecast anything from optimizing your reserves, assessing your capital activity, and tracking your fund performance over time. You don't have to do this in disconnected systems, but now it's a unified experience.
Amazing. All right, before we go a bit deeper, can you help me understand the issues that CFOs are facing before we did this?
Yeah, definitely. So prior to Tactic, prior to Carta, all of this is done in really disconnected systems, right? You have your construction model built with really complex logic, but you're needing to pipe data in across disparate systems. And the core job, right, of a fund CFO is making sure that you have full tracking and awareness of your overall cash position across your entire fund. And when you're needing to pipe data across a lot of different places, that's really stressful. Think about admin reports, you've got buried capital call notices, shared drives, emails, you name it. You're trying to pull all of that data, and that's really stressful because you're having to do that quarter over quarter. And you're under a lot of pressure, right? You're needing to deliver recommendations and results to your GPs. Your LPs and your investors are wanting a lot of information as well on that recurring basis. And your models can quickly become outdated if you're not keeping them up to date. And that's misleading if you're not able to ensure that they're accurate. It's not just misleading, but it's also risky for the business, right? It could lead to partner level discrepancies, misallocated reserves, blind spots that you're not able to catch about your fund. And that's stressful as a fund CFO. For customers, when we chatted with them, they were needing to input data, right, line by line in Tactic. Folks were copying and pasting data from the general ledger, pulling that in to their Excel models or into Tactic. And we definitely don't want that. You're having to burn time on manual work when you could actually be using that time to make strategic decisions for your fund.
Oh man, lack of connection, brutal. You hate to see it.
Yeah.
So how does Carta do the connecting for you to be able to do the modeling and Tactic?
Yeah, so we're excited to announce we have the fund admin integration available. And so data pulls seamlessly into Tactic directly from your general ledger. And essentially what you're able to do is go through an integration review flow in Tactic. It shows you all the data that's sourced from Carta, and you're able to compare that to your initial projections from your construction model that you built in Tactic. And then if you did manually input any actuals in Tactic, you can also compare that with the data that's coming through from Carta. What we found is that the Carta data is much more robust. It's allowing you to populate data month over month, while historically we've seen folks more so input data quarter over quarter or annually, just because it's been a bit of a heavy lift to do that. And so you can pull in as much data as you want, and then from there you can more quickly forecast and plan. You can also trust and ensure that your fund performance metrics are up to date, things like your IRR, your DPI, your TVPI, and you have full awareness of your cash position.
Amazing. All right, you're a seasoned guest. Can you take a hint and maybe predict what's going to happen next? What am I going to ask you for?
You're going to ask me for a demo, so let's go ahead and walk through the integration.
To get started on the fund admin integration, you can navigate to the model view on the left side nav. The model view really allows you to see all your fund cash flows across the life of your fund on a period by period basis. You'll be able to see committed capital, called capital, investments, management fees, fund expenses, and more. The construction forecast populates your projected values based on your initial construction model, and the current forecast is where you can actually update these values. That's where the fund admin integration comes into play, because it will auto-populate these values rather than you needing to manually input. You can go ahead and click set up the integration button, and you'll map to the respective firm, the respective fund if you haven't already, and then you'll get prompted to select a date range. The start date is always the start date for the fund as tracked in Carta, and then the end date you can select as what you would prefer. Then you'll get taken through a series of categories of data to review. First, you'll review partner details. You'll be able to see commitments, called capital, and distributions. It'll be an aggregate level for GPs. And then for LPs, if you've already input LPs, there will be auto matching there. And then any ones that are missing in Tactic that are pulled in from Carta, those will be newly created as part of this process. You can go ahead and click Confirm Limited Partner Mapping, and then you'll get taken to a review for fund expenses. What you'll see here is a comparison between Carta data and Tactic data, and there's clarification that the data from Carta is pulled directly from the statement of operations, simply deducting the overall recorded management fees. You can go ahead and confirm that, and then lastly you'll get taken to management fees, and you'll see a similar comparison between Carta and Tactic. You can go ahead and click confirm, and now the current forecast in the model view has updated with Carta source data, and that's shown specifically in green. At any point, if you need to edit this data, you can, as typically is expected in the model view, and you can go ahead and edit and save. And you'll see that comparison of data. Orange shows that it's been manually edited, while green is showing that it's still sourced from Carta. At any point, if you need to revert back to Carta data, you can do so as well and save that. This ensures that overall your performance metrics are up to date and you have accurate understanding of the state of your capital activity so that you can forecast and plan accordingly. That's the fund admin integration. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks for the demo. While we were showing that off, I saw a couple questions come up in the chat. So let me take a look. I'll get them in the order. So first one is there an extra cost to use this new feature?
Yeah, great question. So no extra cost as long as you are a Tactic customer as well as a fund admin customer. This is simply a product enhancement, and you'll have the integration available in your Tactic account.
Amazing. All right, next one coming in. Does this integration also include investment transactions for my SFY in Carta?
Yeah, another great question. So not yet. The SOI investment transactions are not pulled in through this integration release, but we're actively building that right now, and we'll actually bake in investment transactions from the SOI into the cap table integration. So for any tactic and fund admin customer, starting in early July, we'll be anchoring more so on your investment transaction details per your schedule of investments. So stay tuned. Feel free to reach out to your account manager if you have any questions.
Awesome. Thank you. I think that wraps up all our questions. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.
See you
Cesar.
season
See ya.
3.
Yeah.
All right. Our next guest is new to the show. Please welcome Anita. Welcome.
Hey, nice to meet you, Cesar.
We're excited to have you. Do you want to do a quick introduction before we jump in?
Hey, I'm Anita. Nice to meet you all. I'm Director of Product for Money Movement Banking and KYC. I've been at Carta for 6 years.
Amazing. Welcome to What's New, What's Next. So let's talk about one of the most disconnected key day-to-day operations for funds and what very critical one, moving money. So at Carta, we're trying to turn fragmented workflows like this into more of a seamless connected experience. Can you walk us through how automated money movement fits into that vision?
Absolutely. One thing that we hear from our customers, especially VC firms, is that moving money is a needlessly disjointed experience for our customers. Whether it's distributing funds to LPs, tracking cap call payments, or even paying firm expenses, firms often end up with disparate workflows and context spread across different systems. AMM brings all of that into one single connected platform at Carta. From creating payments to managing payment approvals and keeping your books organized, everything is integrated into your fund admin service. Whether it's sending money, receiving money, and accessing detailed financial records, you can view all of that on Carta with the right context and at the right time.
Amazing. So I want to dig in more into the automated element of this. And I imagine some people might be hearing this and think about how automation might mean relinquishing control in some form. How would we address that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Here, automated actually means more control instead of less control. We only move money upon GP's explicit payment approval permission on Carta. In addition, GPs can set who can approve payments and also manage dual payment approval permissions if needed, set threshold limits, as well as see full audit history of who approved what and when. In addition, Carta always requires you to have 2FA to log into Carta. Plus, we also protect sensitive bank account details.
Super helpful. Good to know. So where is AMM available right now?
We started by looking at the fund operations workflows, how our customers move money, where the fund flows are siloed, and decided to work on where we can connect these systems together and make the day-to-day fund operations easier. We have decided to build AMM we have already built AMM for expenses, management fees, contributions, and now distributions. Distributions are where the speed, simplicity, and connectivity of AMM are especially great for GPs and LPs alike. Unlike GPs logging into fund bank portal and approving each and every wire one by one on the fund bank portal, here Carta will consolidate all that into one single outgoing wire payment, and all GPs have to do is just approve that one single wire. And that's pretty much it. One wire, one fee. And it's as easy as that sounds. After that, our system takes care of individually distributing the funds to each investors, pulling funds directly from for each of the distribution workflows that you've already reviewed and approved. When the funds arrive in LP's bank account, both you and your LPs get real-time confirmation, helping reinforce trust.
I love that. Fewer approvals to chase down, fewer wires to manage, and a great way to keep your investors in the loop.
Exactly. AMM for distributions makes it easy to embrace those celebratory milestones with confidence, strengthening your relationship with your investors.
Amazing. Can we see it in action?
Yes.
All right, let me pull that up.
Introducing automated money movement for distributions, a streamlined, scalable way to deliver distributions to your investors and build their trust. We built automated money movement for distributions to eliminate redundant processes in your bank portal, improve visibility, and ensure timeliness of your distribution. Here's how it works. When reviewing your distributions with automated money movement, you'll see this blue in-app banner confirming that the solution is enabled. On the distribution review screen, you can review the calculation and net distribution amount for each investor, check which investors have confirmed their wire instructions, and download their wire account details for review. You can also select the investors who have provided the wire instructions and authorize distributions to those investors in Carta. Upon your authorization, we will set up a single lump sum wire transfer in your bank portal and notify you when it is ready for your approval. Instead of having to check dozens or even hundreds of outgoing wires, you approve a single consolidated transfer to a pass-through account with our banking partner. Automated money movement will then quickly distribute the funds through our banking partner for the benefit of your fund into each of your investors' bank accounts in their respective net distribution amounts. Your investors will receive instant confirmation emails, and you will receive a summary email outlining the status of the distributions. You can also track the real-time status of each distribution directly in Carta, including IMAD and OMAD reference IDs for investors who have already been paid, as well as a list of investors who haven't yet confirmed their wire instructions. For investors who confirm their wire instructions after the initial distribution date, you'll be able to monitor their status in your dashboard and authorize additional distributions accordingly. With automated money movement for distributions, distributing funds becomes easier to manage for your team and provides a better experience for your investors. We look forward to helping you simplify your distribution process with automated money movement.
That was great. Thanks for the demo. So I have one question off the bat since this is your first demo on this show. How do customers get started with AMM for distributions?
That's a great question. If you have distribution coming up and your LPs are based out of US, let us know. We're rolling this out to select customers in July, and we'd be happy to include you. Reach out to your fund admin to enjoy the efficiency gains of this connectivity. Thank you.
Amazing. All right. We'll keep an eye out for any more questions related to automated money movement. Feel free to drop them in at any time, and we'll get those sorted at the end. All right. Up next, I want to uncover more things that Carta is busy connecting. So I'd love to bring in Brian to discuss some upgrades we made to the investments dashboard.
Hey, Cesar, great to be with you.
Welcome to the show. You want to quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Brian Hinch. I'm a principal design technologist at Carta, and I've been here for about 6 years.
Amazing. All right, let's set the stage for this upgrade. So as we all know, investment portfolios are becoming increasingly complex, and there's a lot of demand for real-time actionable insights. And as we think about like what we can do to improve our existing investments dashboard, Brian, what do we hear from customers when we actually set off on building these upgrades?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. So as a designer here, this is critical to what we do every day. And through research and also just direct customer feedback, we found that viewing performance metrics was both confusing and also even inconsistent across investments. And so users needed to be able to group investments better, for example, by specific issuer or fund, as well as needing to improve how we handle tagging and other capabilities, more robust filtering and sorting and interactivity. Unfortunately, we found that customers were using spreadsheet workarounds, which of course, as Natanya detailed, can be very problematic. This workaround functionally cut customers out of the platform and away from the very data that they're trying to collect and analyze. Not very connected or networked, so to speak.
Oh man, I mean, but that's a lot of valuable feedback. So what do we do with it? Are we like taking action on it, or is it just kind of collecting dust on our Google Drive somewhere?
Definitely not collecting dust. So we've upgraded the investments dashboard to build on existing firm level visibility by allowing users to explore data down to the asset across all funds within a single view. So for example, instead of just seeing that a fund has 1 million invested into a particular company, you can now expand that entry in this view to see how that 1 million is distributed across individual funds and assets. We've talked about how Carta connects disjointed nodes that make up a platform, and this is a great example of connecting data at scale. We've revamped this page to get you a lot of data in one highly customizable view.
All right, we got to see this demo. I don't play favorites, but this one sounds pretty cool.
Let's do it.
Okay, so here is the new investments dashboard. I've just clicked investments over here on the left. And the first thing that you'll see is that we have a great new full screen experience. No pages, no flipping through multiple spreadsheet tabs. It's all right here. But really this is about data. This is about your data pulled from across the Carta platform. And that's great, but what if I want to see all of these numbers broken down by fund or even asset class? So I can do that here too. I can see, for instance, all of our investments in this particular company across multiple funds, different asset classes, how all of these data break down at that level without having to go into an individual fund. And I can do that for multiple all at the same time. And of course, with all of this data, we also need to have powerful filtering capabilities. As you would expect, we can sort by all of these metrics, but we can also assign tags, and we have a bunch set up here. And once we assign tags, we can filter by them. So I can easily come in here. I can do, for instance, let's look at all of our healthcare industry investments. And just like that, I have a picture of all of those. And of course, I can still come in here and again, break this down by individual asset as well. So really quickly, I have maybe kind of a sensitivity picture. And once I have what I need, I can then export that.
Amazing. Thanks for the demo, Brian. Goes without saying, connecting relevant insights to customers really underpins strategic value-add decision-making, and just having a more context-rich set of reporting tools enables that. So we're really excited about this one. And can you remind me, when is this available?
This is out now for all fund admin users.
Amazing. Make sure you check that out. All right. Thanks for coming to the show. Next up, I want to introduce y'all to Jordan, who's going to go through something we're all very excited about, our ASC 820 valuation tool. It now connects directly to your fund's SOI and our general ledger. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You want to quickly introduce yourself?
I'm Jordan, product lead for valuations and some of our other investor captive products.
Amazing. So we all understand the importance of accurate, robust ASC 820 valuations, but the work doesn't stop there. Valuation details really need to be accessible as well whenever they're needed. So as Kobe Bryant once said, job's not finished.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. So accurate, dependable valuations are one thing, but it's critical that this information gets linked to the financial statements, your workbooks, and your general ledger. When that link is broken, you can be dealing with stale holding values. You might have to go digging for old investment docs or valuation docs, and then eventually probably create friction for you and your auditors come audit season.
So how does Carta break down the silos?
Yeah, great question. So with our ASC 820 feature, the report will automatically flow through directly to the SOI and the general ledger. When you're in the general ledger itself, the link will be live to the PDF and other data about the valuation that you did. And then soon we'll have a task for GPs to actually approve those valuations, whether it's someone on their team or Carta doing the valuation for them.
Amazing. So you might be able to guess what's next. What's it look like?
Yeah, let's do a demo.
The evaluation tool allows you to pull in data from Carta about your portfolio companies to do valuation. So it includes the capitalization data from the portfolio company that you're doing valuation in. It integrates financials from the companies that share you financials on Carta, so you can pull in revenue, EBITDA, cash, other data, as well as public market data from our integration with Capital IQ. So you can pull comp data when doing your analysis for your company. The tool supports all the major methodologies used by funds to do valuations, including public comps, M&A transactions, post-money, equity adjustments, backsolve, and others. And the tool allows you to perform the analysis using all those methodologies as you see fit. So each of the modules here will let you go through the kind of step-by-step process to get to evaluation based on each methodology. Lastly, the tool allows you to easily allocate the value you determine to the company to your individual holdings. So the tool supports the three major methodologies that funds use as well: option pricing models, waterfalls, and common stock equivalents. The math is automatically calculated on the back end and printed out to you so you can see each individual breakpoint. In this case, we're doing a waterfall, and how that maps out to each individual share class. Lastly, the tool will summarize your inputs and outputs to determine the value of your holdings. It will integrate directly with Carta's SOI and general ledger when you complete the valuation, and also allows you to export an ASC 20 PDF to be shared internally with your auditors, GPs, or even LPs.
Amazing. Thanks for the demo.
Yeah, great, thanks.
And thanks for joining us. All right, next up, I'd like to invite Micah to help us close out the show.
Thanks, Cesar.
Welcome to the show. You want to quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Micah. I'm a senior product manager here at Carta. I've been working on our LLC cap table product and more recently working on a GP carry solution. So yeah, nice to be with you all. I'm excited to dive in.
Drop all the questions in the chat. All right, so up until now, we've seen how Carta is connecting data and insights to decision makers, and we want to build on top of that and talk about a different kind of connection and how we're addressing key workflows that are important to multiple important stakeholders across a firm. So kicking this off, Micah, what should we know about GP carry tracking?
Yeah, thanks, Cesar. As you mentioned, connectivity is not just about data and systems, but it's also between people. Most of our fund admin suite ties directly to the day-to-day of the fund CFO, but we haven't forgotten about GPs. We build with GP use cases in mind too. When it comes to carried interest, CFOs and GPs face a lot of obstacles during tracking and reporting. Today, they have to rely heavily on spreadsheets and fragmented data sources to answer simple questions. Carry calculations are complicated in general. Many factors go into calculations like vesting rules, which entities we're talking about, performance, and tenure. It goes without saying that manual spreadsheet calculations break down as firms scale and face increasing demands around auditability and real-time.
100%. I also know that it can be pretty stressful for a CFO to juggle all kinds of different carry-related requests. Like, I'm just imagining you open your email and it's just subject line, what's my carry? No body, no nothing. That sends off a chain of events and you're scrambling across like multiple teams, spreadsheets, email, going everywhere just to answer that one simple question. And actually, if I can shamelessly plug another cool theme we're building, we'll drop the link to this in the chat, but tomorrow Carta is also showing off a demo of our brand new entity map, which is partly powered by our GP carry tracking solution, which shows actual accrued carry amounts across your entities. So more to come there, but wanted to quickly have a plug for that. But no more spoilers. So back to the show. Micah, can you share more about what we've actually built?
Absolutely, yeah. We're building the most comprehensive carry capabilities that are really differentiated by integrating directly with Carta's accounting and cap table products. This allows us to deliver a true one-stop solution for GP carry tracking. This feature that we're about to demo, it will automate the fund to GP entity accounting flow through. It'll allow you to manage carry grants and vesting schedules. We'll automate allocations of carried interest to GP members. We're going to generate accurate partnership capital account statements and then give GP members themselves a way to log in and see this information through a GP member portal. And we're doing all of this while ensuring robust permissioning and auditability. Ultimately, we're really trying to increase transparency between venture leaders, namely CFOs and GPs, and that's a high priority of ours as we continue to build.
Amazing. All right, ready to help us close out the show?
Yeah, let's do it.
You got a demo to show us?
Yep.
All right.
For this demo, I'm going to show you how this fund entity, Carta Demo Venture Fund 1, generates carried interest that then feeds directly into the GP entity automatically, and then we connect with those GP members automatically as well to give them transparency into their carry balances. So let's go into the GP entity and take a look at what's new. The first thing is that on the Partners tab, you can see that we're now reporting on carried interest granted, carried interest vested, and carried interest accrued. A lot of these columns are powered by our cap table product, the LLC cap table product, and are totally dynamic. So let me go into that tab to show you how this works. You'll see that each carry grant is listed here, for David Smith, for instance, there's a carry grant. All of the basic economic terms and transactions are tracked here. We can upload and track documents, the history, and then importantly is the vesting of this award. So we standardize all vesting and then give folks a visual representation of that vesting to see how much carry has vested throughout time. Going back to the fund accounting software, the next thing I want to show is how we put a dollar value to this carry so that we can start explaining the value of carry to both people internal to the firm as well as the recipients themselves. So to do this, I'll get a little bit into the accounting weeds, but we'll go to accounting journals. And then you can see here that at the end of each reporting date, there's an automated carry journal entry. So if I open this one for 6/30/2025, for instance, we can see that $91,000 of carry has been accrued. Since we have all of the carry balances automatically integrated from that LLC cap table product, we can show you how much carry each individual is getting from that allocation. Awesome. So that's kind of the nitty-gritty of the accounting. All of this information does roll up into clean, digestible ways. So partner capital account statements, for instance, is a nice way to view this. You can see their beginning balance, how much carry was accrued over time, over the period, and then their ending balance. And then the partner roll forward also gives you a really comprehensive view of everyone's unrealized gain, carried interest accruals, so on and so forth. The last thing is sharing all this information with your GP members themselves. So like I showed the partner capital account statement, these can be generated and then shared from the product. So if we go to David Smith's portfolio here, we can see that they can see some GP entity information, but then they also have a capital account statement that's been shared with them. They can go ahead and view this document and really get a transparent sense of where they stand within the GP entity and how much their carry is worth. All right, that's it for GP carry. There's a lot more to come in this problem space as we continue building.
Amazing. Love that we're handling both like a really tough CFO problem, but then also doing something like GPs will really value and care a lot about. So thanks for sharing. As we were doing the demo, I actually saw a couple questions come in, so I want to make sure we cover those. First one is, can you control who has access to what information?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So sharing carry details, whether it's the accrued values or the carry grants themselves, is entirely up to you. You can share with certain members, you cannot share with other members. So we've definitely seen a trend recently where folks are wanting to give more transparency into carry and err on the side of sharing more. It's fully up to you.
Awesome. And then this next one, actually personally, my favorite question, how do I get started?
Yeah, we're currently rolling this out to customers. It's been a lot of fun talking with folks and getting them on board. So yeah, reach out to your account manager or your fund admin team, and they'll loop the right folks to get you started and get the onboarding going.
Cool. All right, I'm going to do one last scan. All right, I think that might be it for the show. If there are any other questions that come up, even as we're wrapping up right now, definitely drop them in the chat. Everyone you just heard speak today will be combing through all the comments, answering any questions that come up. So please feel free to continue. And yeah, I think that's it for season 2 today. Again, thank you so much for the support. We're really excited to be here. Keep tuning in. Maybe next time we might have a celebrity musical guest, SNL style cold open. Who knows? But again, stay tuned and we'll have more great stuff for you next time. Thank you.